Celtics. He played in Centenary. 7 feet tall, number 17, Robert Parrish. And finally, also from the world champion Boston Celtics. He led Indiana University to the 1976 NCAA championship. He's played on high school, college, and world championships in professional ball. 6'3", a 1976 Olympian, number 18, Quinn Buckner. The head coach for the NBA All-Stars is the head coach for the Chicago Bulls, Kevin Lockery. The assistant coach this evening for the NBA, he is also an assistant for the Chicago Bulls, Fred Carter. And the longtime trainer of your Indiana Pacers, serving as the NBA trainer this evening, Dave Craig. Also with the NBA party is Mr. Larry Fleischer, the head of the NBA Players Association. It was through his good graces to arrange the NBA talent throughout this 9-game exhibition series. The National Basketball Association All-Stars. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the 1984 United States Men's Olympic Basketball Team. First, we introduce to you, behind the team bench, the team manager, the honorary team manager. He played on Indiana University's 1981 NCAA championship team. He is from Indianapolis and Tech High School, Landon Turner. We have one other Olympian with us. He will be playing in the 1984 Summer Games for West Germany. From Indiana University, he is seated behind the scorer's bench, Uwe Block. We have 3 special guests to introduce to you now, ladies and gentlemen. They are among the greatest coaches who have ever coached this game and close friends of American and Olympic basketball. First, we present to you a Hall of Fame coach in both baseball and basketball, Indiana University's first All-American in basketball. He coached Stanford to the NCAA championship, the gentleman coach, Everett Dean. We now welcome the man who coached our Olympic teams in 1964, 1968, and 1972. One of the geniuses of the game, the immortal coach of Oklahoma State, Henry Hank Iba. Here at the scorer's bench, ladies and gentlemen, next we welcome the coach of our 1960 Olympic team, a team considered by many the best amateur basketball team ever assembled. He coached brilliantly at Michigan State and then coached California to the NCAA championship, a great defensive innovator, Mr. Pete Newell. United States players. A 6'1" freshman from Newcastle, Indiana, He plays at Indiana University. Number 4, Steve Alford. A 6'1" sophomore from Washington, D.C. and Duke University. Number 5, Johnny Dawkins. A 7-foot junior from Cambridge, Massachusetts and Georgetown University. Number 6, Patrick Ewing. A 6'5" senior from Long Island City, New York, at the University of Georgia. Number 7, Vern Fleming. A 6'5" junior from Wilmington, North Carolina, at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. Number 9, Michael Jordan. A 6'11" junior from Slater, Missouri at the University of Arkansas. Number 10, Joe Klein. A 7-foot junior from Kansas City, Missouri and Southern Methodist University. Number 11, John Concat. A 6'6" junior from Brooklyn, New York and St. John's University. Number 13, Chris Mullen. A 6'9" senior from Latham, New York and the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. Number 14, Sam Perkins. A 6'7" sophomore from Bradley, Alabama and Auburn University. Number 15, Chuck Person. A 6'4" senior from Barberton, Ohio at the University of Arkansas. Number 16, Alvin Robertson. A 6'9" sophomore from Tulsa, Oklahoma at the University of Oklahoma. Number 17, Wayman Tisdale. A 6'9" senior from Brandon, Florida and Vanderbilt University. Number 18, Jeff Turner. And finally, a 6'3" senior from Santa Monica, California and Cal State at Fullerton. Number 19, Leon Wood. Ladies and gentlemen, the process to select the American basketball team for the Olympics began in Bloomington in April. Representing the coaches who assisted the Olympic staff in picking that team, preparing the 72 players to go into the trials, the head basketball coach from Purdue University, the honorary assistant coach for this game, Mr. Gene Cady. Ladies and gentlemen, the head coach for your 1984 men's Olympic basketball team, 13 years at Indiana University as the head coach, Bob Knight. Serving as one of the assistant coaches, the head coach from the University of Iowa, George Raveling. Serving as an assistant coach, the head coach from the University of Dayton, Don Donaher. The team manager, the head coach from Vanderbilt University, C.M. Newton. And serving as team trainer, the head basketball trainer from Indiana University, Tim Garth. Serving as the team physician this evening, the Indiana University basketball physician, Dr. Brad Bamba. The 1984 United States Men's Olympic Basketball team, ladies and gentlemen. Before getting further along, ladies and gentlemen, we welcome to the court Indiana Olympic Chairman Jim Morris. Coach Bob Knight will stay with us and come to center court, and also Governor Bob Orr. Each of them has a special presentation to make to one of our honored guests. The person we are recognizing right now, ladies and gentlemen, is the Executive Director of our United States Olympic Committee. Please welcome to the Hoosier Dome, Colonel F. Don Miller. Here with the first presentation is Mr. Jim Morris.
Ladies and gentlemen, on this great occasion, we pause for just a minute to honor a man who has led the United States Olympic Committee for the last 20 years. A man who has made an incredible contribution to the youth of America during his tenure as Executive Director of the United States Olympic Committee. To my right, two great basketball fans, Governor Bob Orr and Indiana University Athletic Director Ralph Floyd, have a check in the amount of $130,000 from the dinner on June the 20th to present to Colonel Miller. The total gift from the state of Indiana during this 4-year period to the United States Olympic Committee is in excess of $600,000, making Indiana the #1 contributor in the nation.
That's an incredible tribute to the state of Indiana and the great basketball fans of this state. I know Colonel Miller is very appreciative, and now Bob Knight's going to make a presentation.
I would like to do two things before presenting this gift to Colonel Miller. First of all, I would like to thank the NBA players from the Players Association, Kevin Lockery, my longtime friend from St. John's University, for coming tonight and sharing with us, providing the competition that we have to have. They've done a great job throughout this series, and I know that whatever we're able to do in Los Angeles will depend to a great extent on what these outstanding players have done in the way of preparing us for Los Angeles. The second thing I would like to do is thank Jim Morris, Dr. Bowen, Ralph Floyd, and all of the hundreds of people that made an evening like this possible. Only in Indiana could 67,000 people show up for a basketball game in July. I heard today that basketball was invented in Springfield, Massachusetts. If that is true, God had it invented there so we could import it right here to Indiana. With the, you know, there's a phrase that's used in conjunction with a lot of things, and that phrase is born again. With the kind of support that you people have shown tonight, the players from the NBA Players Association, the players representing all of us on the Olympic team, I hope that we never in our lifetime or in any American's lifetime hear the phrase born again as a prefix to America. We have too much pride in everything that we do, everything that we've accomplished, and the kind of cooperation that you see among races, creeds, and religion here tonight to ever have an animal in this country referred to as a born-again American. Thank you very much for your attendance. No one in American Olympic history has been more involved in the Olympic movement than Colonel Don Miller. Relative to his upcoming retirement after the Los Angeles Games, we have a gift that Jim is holding, a crystal American eagle that we would like to present to Colonel Miller. To Colonel F. Don Miller, USA retired, in admiration of one who has done so much for the youth of America. Your Indianapolis friends, and Colonel Miller, no one is more deserving of our thoughts and our best wishes to you in retirement than you are. Congratulations on what you've done, and thanks a lot for bailing me out of a hell of a lot of trouble along the way, too.
Words very well spoken by Bob Knight, and he very seldom says something that he doesn't mean. And I know that when he walked across this floor for the first time tonight, there were tears in his eyes of the gratitude to the people of the state of Indiana. Now, Colonel Miller.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the United States Olympic Committee, I would like to take this opportunity to express our deepest appreciation for your outstanding support of this very important national effort. As a result of your support, we will have the best prepared team in the history of our country represent us at the 1984 Games in Los Angeles. Thank you very much.
And with that check for $130,000 plus the additional money making up the $600,000 that the people of the state of Indiana have contributed to support the Olympic program, I'm sure Colonel Miller is very appreciative. And when you go down this lineup tonight, you can see what a great Indiana rich tradition there is. Fellas that played their high school ball here, their college ball, a fellow like Walt Bellamy coming back. And now we're having the President Reagan talk, the 2-minute talk that you people saw earlier on the screen take place here to all the fans assembled here at the Hoosier Dome. But you go down that list, Larry Bird, just think French Lick, Indiana. And Larry came out here, and he's a quiet kind of a guy, except when he plays on the court. And I go back to the days when he played at Indiana State and first got to meet him there, and he led his club all the way to the championship game of the NCAA. Some fond memories. I talked to Larry in the locker room, and when he came out here tonight, he had his game face on, and with 70,000 plus people cheering him on, it was quite a tribute to a player of his outstanding ability. MVP in the recent NBA playoffs, and certainly one of the greatest men ever to play the game. Quinn Buckner, certainly the great leader of Indiana's national championship ball club. Now with the Boston Celtics, has been a winner on every level of competition that he ever participated. Winner in the high school ranks. People remember before he came to Indiana, where he was a great football as well as basketball star coming out of the Chicago area, and came to Indiana and was everything Bobby Knight expected of him. And now a member of the national champion and world champion NBA Celtics ball club. You go down the line a little farther. Jerry Seasting from Indiana Pacers, who played so well at Purdue, and a fellow from local Martinsville, Indiana. And I think back of the first time I heard about Jerry, he was being recruited at Purdue, and people said, well, he's a good all-around athlete. He'll give some people some competition. You go back to the days there when Kyle Macy was the #1 man in Purdue's dreams at that time, and Jerry came along and did so well, and has done so well as an NBA player when many people felt that under no circumstances would he be able to qualify as an NBA guard. He was the 82nd overall pick back in '79, picked up as a free agent by Indiana here, and he's always been a quality athlete. Mike Woodson, Kansas City Kings. 12th overall picked player in 1980 draft, went to the Knicks, and everybody knows about the great career he's having with Kansas City and what a tremendous shooter he was in that Bobby Knight motion offense while in Indiana. Isaiah Thomas, another Chicago import that came to IU, played so well, led the team to the national crown. Also go back to the time and what Bobby Knight might have been referring to back in the Pan Am games when Colonel Miller overlooked some of the problems there and naming Bobby to the Olympic coach this year. But Isaiah first came to the scene for most people when they remember him leading the team in the Pan Am Championships. And now we're getting ready for the national anthem and soon to be the game.
Stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. O'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming.
Okay, for 70,000 plus, we're just about ready for game time to start. I was reeling off some great names in Indiana basketball. Walt Bellamy back tonight out on the floor was the first man introduced right before we came on the air of the introductions. Walt, of course, a member of that maybe the greatest team ever assembled on international ball, the 1960 Olympic team that was coached so well by Pete Newell, who will be here tonight to help me with this broadcast. Pete has been keeping close tabs, as you can imagine, with Bobby and the progress of this team. One of the things I would imagine the NBA players want to do right now is to loosen up. They've been standing out there for about a half an hour. And although they're tremendous athletes, they might not be in the condition, let's say, that the Olympic All-Stars have been in, because they're going through grueling practices every day. And some of these players have been off for a couple of weeks, some for a longer period of time. And after standing there for about a half an hour, Pete, they're going to have to get themselves a little looser. Somebody may pull a muscle here.
Well, I tell you, it was a little stiff out there standing, too. No, they'll do a little warm-up now.
I was just going down, Pete, a tremendous thing for the state of Indiana here tonight, going down the memories of the players that representing the NBA All-Stars here tonight. Walt Bellamy, who was one of your stars in that 60 team. And going down the line, Larry Bird with his tradition from French Lick, and everybody knows about going to IU and then to Indiana State, and then a tremendous career he's having in the NBA. Many people saying the finest forward maybe ever to play the game.
Well, he certainly is as multi-skilled as any forward that ever played the game. The only one I think that did all the things that he did, I don't know if he did them as well, was Rick Barry. Rick Barry was that type of a forward, a fine passer, but not nearly the rebounder that this young man is.
Pete, you mentioned something that was kind of obvious now. Bobby's club, the Olympic team, is 4-0 so far against the NBA All-Stars. There's a lot of reasons for that. That's not to say that they're a better squad man for man than the people they've been going up against. But because of training, conditioning, team cohesion, it does make a difference when you're trying to put together a ball club. But tonight, this is probably going to be the toughest test the Olympic team will have, because a lot of these fellas have played with each other. There are 4 Celtics out there, and I think they've got their game faces on for this one.
They do have the game faces. You know, the international game is much closer to the NBA game than, say, the college game. The clock, they have a clock in the international game, so it kind of limits the type of offense. And most of these players play mostly the same sets in the NBA, so it's really not that much of a problem of putting a team together offensively. Obviously the condition isn't as great, but as you said earlier, they got their game face on, and they wouldn't be here they wouldn't be great NBA players if they didn't have pride, and their pride has been challenged a little.
It really has been challenged, and as I said, you've got 4 Celtics out here, so there could be a portion in the game when we see the World Championship Celtic team +1 go up there against our Olympic team. Give us a pretty good idea, even though the conditioning might not be what it was a couple of weeks ago when they took on the Lakers and won. But it'll give us a pretty good idea how well a coordinated outfit can do against Bobby's team.
That's true, and having 4 on one team, as you say, it does give them, you know, they can run the Celtic offense, and I'm sure pick up the 5th man and run it very well. And I think that the condition is, you know, players today, the professional players today, never really get out of condition like they used to. You know, they used to stay away from basketball to the end of the basketball season until about maybe September. But that isn't the case now. The competition is too great. The money is too great. The rewards are too big for them to allow themselves to start a season in poor shape.
Well, we're going to take a look at the starting lineup now. Bobby Knight talking to the officials tonight in the ball game. The game, of course, played under international rules, and everybody, I'm sure, in this part of the country is getting used to now. When L.A. comes, we'll know the international rules better than we know any others. Paul Hausman and Hank Nichols. Hank is going to be a representative in the officiating staff at the Olympics. He has worked more Final Four championships now than anybody else in history. Certainly one of the great officials in the world. Let's take a look at these starting lineups out here now. Bobby's been changing around. You see Jordan, Tisdale, Perkins, Robertson, and Fleming. One change from what he did there in the second half yesterday. And for the NBA All-Stars, Aguirre, Bird, Parrish, Thomas, and Paxson. Not a bad lineup for any NBA team.
That's right.
Sam Perkins winning it. Back to Robertson. We'll set up the players for you. Vern Fleming, great Georgia player who's surprised a lot of people. Everybody knew he was good, but this good, Pete?
I think he's going to be a fine player.
Little zone defense by the NBA to start things out. Parrish back in the middle. Sam Perkins, and here's where that zone makes it tough with the clock. Robertson, who's been hitting very well. One of the most gifted defensive players around. Good help by Fleming. Paxson, who moves so well without the ball, picking up the loose ball. Steinman in the corner, and there's Robertson already. Isaiah Thomas with the steal. Puts up the jumper, and the NBA All-Stars take off.
One of the areas of improvement for the Olympic team has been their defense in the transition stage, going from offense to defense. But that last possession, they didn't do a very good job. Aguirre got down all the way to the basket.
Robertson, Tisdale in the post. Ball knocked out of bounds, and Robertson getting some of his own medicine there with Isaiah Thomas, who's one of the best stealers in the NBA. The quick hands, great anticipation. Fleming on the side. Michael Jordan, great play on the inside. Perkins with the rebound, stolen by Isaiah. Puts it on his hip and takes it there. Left-handed hook, not available. And here goes the transition the other way. Fleming, nice dish.
Yeah, really good. Very good fill of the lane, too, by Alvin Robertson.
Nice pull-up there by Vern Fleming, not to take the ball too far to create that lane, Pete.
That's right.
Robertson and Isaiah Thomas. You'll see some of this in the NBA in years to come. Larry Bird posting up inside on Michael Jordan. Gets him in the air. Such a smart player.
Well, you know, he has that pump fake, you know, and few players have ever had a better pump fake than Larry Bird.
There's Kevin Lockety. Bobby Knight paid tribute. Kevin played at St. John's when Bobby was at Ohio State. St. John's had probably the greatest team in their history when they had Jackson and Knowles and Ivan Kovac, Kevin Lockety in the backcourt, Willie Hall. They took Ohio State right to the wire that year. I remember in Ohio State, the #1 rated team in the country with Lucas and Havlicek.
Kevin was an outstanding shooter, Billy. You remember in the NBA as well as in college.
Larry Bird missing a free throw, well documented. Certainly one of the great free throw shooters in the world. And in the clutch, he's hard to beat on that line. Bobby Knight talking to Robertson on the side. International rules, although they're different from the collegiate rules, are changing. And as this game goes on, I'm going to throw out a couple of things that they're changing in the future, which will take place right after the Olympic Games. Now a little man-to-man by the NBA. Paxson on Robertson. Aguirre on Michael Jordan. Tisdale and Bird. His penetration, a second block for Parrish. Robertson not making a good judgment there, putting it back up. Larry Bird on the outlet pass. Isaiah.
There's none better in the middle of a break than Isaiah Thomas.
Well, he has that ability to take it all the way, to pull up, make the good pass. Nice move by Michael Jordan. Good defense. Tisdale misses. Robertson always in the way for that loose ball. Vern Fleming on the drive.
Really good pull-up that time by Vern Fleming. He'd taken one more step, it would have been a charge foul.
Fleming will be coming to the Indiana Pacers. He'll be an outstanding player. Holds just about every offensive record in Georgia, University of Georgia basketball. Parrish, a little out of shape jumper there. Robertson, nice move by Michael Jordan.
That shot there in the NBA, he'll bank it. That's a bank area, but
Larry Bird, Mark McGuire takes it to the hole hard. Got fouled, no call. Bird coming up with the loose ball. He came to play. They backed him out. Great play. Pete, this is going to be a ball game to watch. I mean, it's a spectacle really with a crowd, but it's going to be a ball game to watch. Man to man now. Bird and Perkins. Isaiah on a reach. As we're getting used to the international plays, obviously no shot here until after 8 are committed in a half. Here you go, Pete.
Here's a beautiful pass by Larry Bird, and Isaiah spots the alley right down the middle. He knows he's going to get the ball if he's free, and he got it.
Michael Jordan and Mark McGuire playing off of Michael, giving him the jump shot. Michael takes it anyway. Oh, what a move. Harris did a good job defensively. NBA breaking pretty well.
See, that's transition again. This is an area, actually, they have improved.
Of course, they're playing the NBA game, and a guy like Paxson knows how to fill those lanes as well as anybody up there. Back to the zone goes the NBA.
Among the great qualities of play of Larry Bird, none is better than his taking the ball from the board, getting out, and initiating a break.
Here we're going to have a timeout, and we'll be back right after this important message. 10-6, the NBA in the lead.
Finally, a motion picture for everyone. If you're a guy on the move or a girl on the run, if you're an adventure fan or a horror freak, if you're into classical music or rock is your thing, if you're a feminist or a chauvinist.
Where you going, sweetheart?
No matter who you are or what you are, this is the movie for you. The Muppets Take Manhattan, rated G.
Starts Friday at a theater near you.
Well, we have out on the court right now the United States diving team, both men and women, that will participate in the Olympics, and certainly one of our premier events, led by Greg Louganis, a fellow I had an opportunity to watch last year. There he is, the last one walking off the court down the Pan Am Games, probably the premier diver in the history of the sport. And Indiana did a good job hosting the diving events also, Pete. They have a beautiful facility here. Michael Jordan, good drive, good feed to Wayman Tisdale.
Jordan is a real threat. When he goes to that basket, he can take it all the way, but he's very unselfish. He'll spot that open man.
Oh, great move by Isaiah Thomas. Call a block on Sam Perkins moving over. Bobby Knight jumping up off the bench. And he's got to do some jumping tonight because this floor is elevated about 2.5 feet. Now, Bobby is working so hard, Pete, on coming over and drawing that charge to fill up those lanes.
Well, they call it in the international game, and he's trying to get his players to do it, and they've been doing very, very good.
Well, Sam Perkins, well drilled in drawing the charge. University of North Carolina, probably one of the schools that works on it as much as Indiana does. Ball be taken out of bounds. Now, Isaiah going to the foul line felt that he was in the act of shooting. Kevin Lockett, he said, he wants the shot.
They did put up 2 fingers.
Yep.
I saw the other official put up 2 fingers. That's what Kevin is discussing.
And the official's saying right now that Isaiah's the one that said I was throwing a pass. And Bobby Knight gives Larry Bird a little encouragement, which he doesn't need. With Michael Jordan on him there, he gets that lean again, Pete.
Well, that's something that Michael's going to have to learn. You don't leave your feet. You know, you play defense with your feet on the floor. And he's going for that pump fake every time. And
you know, it's kind of funny about that. One of the great, Oscar Robertson, of course, had the great pump fake. Jerry West had it. Larry Bird's got it. But Bird is not the leaper to Jerry West and Oscar Robertson were. So I wonder why guys go up in the air on him. Look at it. He gets him up. Michael comes down. Then Larry goes and puts the shot up. Has 3 to make 2.
Well, you know, it's a shot that it's a great maneuver for an offensive man, and it's a kind of a shot that if you have a good upper torso fake and you keep your knees, flexed like Oscar did and Jerry did, and of course Larry does, you're gonna, there's too much of a resistance for the defensive man to jump, because so much of basketball now is jumping. It's much more a part of the game.
That's Michael Jordan's second foul. Double stacked now by the Olympic team. Jordan down there with Tisdale. Tisdale's got that great turnaround jumper, and Bird goes to the boards. Hits ahead to Paxson. Takes it to the lane, gets hit. No call. There's Isaiah again. Isaiah to Parrish.
Isaiah made a great defensive play there, Billy.
That's the second time tonight he has really stymied an Olympic fast break with his heads-up defensive play. Good screen by Fleming. Good feed. Perkins on the inside, even with the weak side help by Larry Bird, not in time.
Perkins with the assist from Michael Jordan.
Now Jordan stayed down that time. Bird takes him in again. Mark Aguirre, good outside shooter. Has great range, Pete.
He really does. Won a number of games in the NBA with a three-point shot in the closing seconds, especially against the Lakers.
Mark keeping himself in such great shape compared to what he let himself go in college a couple of years, and then all of a sudden he's dedicated himself to stay in great shape. Tremendous fake by Jordan and a follow-up offensively, which he's good at. And here comes Isaiah out. Bird. Mark Aguirre not quite there, and you have to be careful on this elevated court, because Aguirre is now about 8 rows up in the stands.
No, I think there wasn't anybody. There was no one in the NBA. I don't believe that could have made the pass that Larry Bird made, and I don't think he expected it.
Yeah, we're going to have a little call here to let Mark Aguirre get back out on the court. Now he's back up on the court, and we'll take a break. Score, NBA 16, USA 10, and we knew this was going to be a ball game.
The Olympic Games are coming, and you can be part of them. Play McDonald's. When the U.S. wins, you win Olympic Games. Starting Thursday, July 12th.
Silly Packer with Pete Newell back at the Hoosier Dome. The NBA All-Stars leading 16-10, and tonight's game is brought to you in part by the Indiana Ford dealers. Fleming, Isaiah Thomas, Robertson and Paxson. McHale in the game with Robert Reed now. First change for the NBA Stars. Fleming a little long. There's Larry Bird again on the boards. He just has that anticipation to know how to get position. So he's going up against Sam Perkins. Good education for Perkins. Nice rebound by McHale. Robert Reed, excellent athlete. Here comes Robertson out, another good athlete. Perkins has got good range out there also. Larry Bird won't be able to play off him that far. Back to the zone. McHale in the middle now. There's Perkins. Right-handed hook. Bird again with a rebound. Tapping over to Reed. Reed was out of basketball before this year, but just a very gifted athlete. Michael Jordan, everybody screaming to him to stay down. Pretty good bump physical. Good pick and roll. Call on the inside. Bobby Knight again having to jump off that bench. Pete, he better get himself a little stairway here. Here's the pick and roll. Now that's an illegal screen by Kevin McHale, and another one, but a great dump-off pass by Larry Bird.
Great two-man play. Great two-man play.
Oh, you're not going to give me the foul on that, Pete?
Well, I'll give you the foul, but it was great. I love that two-man basketball.
Kevin looked like he just walking around and keep moving. As a motion offense, two-man screen. McHale moving out on Perkins, reaching in. There's Isaiah again, almost pulling one off. Wayman Tisdale so good around the basket.
Nice layoff again by Alvin Robertson.
By Tisdale, number 17, Wayman Tisdale.
Bobby hasn't made a substitution yet. There's a switch. Isaiah Thomas puts it up very well. Michael Jordan really didn't go out at him very aggressively on that switch. Oh, between his legs. Some move by Michael Jordan.
He went right by Larry Bird on that play.
Larry Bird on a great catch. They're going to call walking. That was just a sensational catch by Larry Bird, even though the play developed into a walk. You see the play down the other end. Watch Michael Jordan here. You think Kevin Loughnane didn't like this move? Went right by, puts it up with the left hand. That's an NBA move, Pete.
It really was. I don't. That's the next planet up there move.
Okay, 18-14. Olympic team starting to make some moves. We'll be right back after this important word. Back at the Hoosier Dome, NBA All-Stars lead 18-14 and have some substitutions being made right now. Chris Mullen coming in the ball game. Excellent outside shooter, Pete. And down on the other end, got Buckner coming into the ball game. Mike Woodson into the ball game. And Herb Williams into the ball game. So we've got a fresh squad out there. Robertson, he understands where to shoot from, Pete.
Well, see, they went to the zone. Now the NBA players are playing a zone alternately.
Picking up about three-quarter court, which is what Bobby Knight wants to do against the international clubs, who won't have ball handlers like Buckner and Isaiah Thomas out there. Nice play by Robertson.
I'm going to tell you, I would hate to play against that Robertson.
Can you imagine they had Darrell Walker and Robertson in the same backcourt defensively on the collegiate level a year ago, they being the University of Arkansas, Eddie Sutton, and that is some twosome.
Well, they could almost shut out a team. You got to get over the middle line.
You cry and sick, and here comes Patrick Ewing in. Tisdale out. Good tap ahead by Robertson. Good pass to Fleming, who can take it to the hoop. Vern Fleming plays a lot taller. You know, he handles that ball so well. He's 6'5", may even be 6'6". Knows how to take the ball to the hoop. New York City product.
No, he's not a shooter, but he's a scorer. He's one of those fellows that seems to get the ball in. His form of shooting is not what I call, textbook, but he puts the open shot down.
Vern's the oldest player on the Olympic squad, 23 years of age, married. As I said, he's from Long Island City, New York. Robertson going out, and of course, Steve Alford in the ball game, number 4. Outstanding freshman for Indiana. And certainly he's going to have a great collegiate career before he's out of there.
What an opportunity for a freshman to play against these great professional players. Very good help that time by Chris Mullen.
Perkins doing a good job on McHale. Buckner with the outside shot. Push off. Mike Woodson on a push off from behind on Fleming.
See, that's a foul, Billy. They can't, on a violation, they can take that ball out at the side and take it down the court. The referee doesn't have to touch it, but that was a foul that time.
I think it's such a good habit to get into, to take that ball quickly to the side, regardless of foul or violation. Just get used to doing it. And our players seem to be adjusting that very well.
Yeah, much better, much better.
Buckner playing off Alford. Alford's got that jumper, as everybody knows, trying to get the ball inside some. Good defense. There's Fleming again. Nice job. Quinn Buckner picking it off. McHale filling the lane as he does so well.
Beautiful break. Beautiful pass by Buckner. Fine fill.
McHale has that ability to take off, going from defense to offense, as well as any big man that plays the game right now, and scores an awful lot on that transition.
See, now they've changed back. They were a zone. They went to man-to-man the last time, and now they're zone this time.
And there's the man you want to touch the ball right there, Chris Mullen, an excellent perimeter shooter. He's the co-MVP in the Big East with Patrick Ewing. Good job by Perkins getting back. Well, not hesitating at all.
Well, that's what Bobby always wants his shooter to be the shooter. You know, he doesn't want his shooter being a screener.
I think where that came across well to Chris Mullen is up in the Providence game, where he didn't do anything in the first half, and Bobby said, hey, you're supposed to be the guy that puts it up and get it up there, and he can shoot so well. Now there's your turnover.
There's your violation.
Perkins wisely pulls it out to the side. Smart ball player.
Yeah. Both those North Carolina players are smart players.
Pretty good team movement now. Steve Alford. 71,000 plus. Love that shot. Good job by Woodson. Robert Reed, quite an athlete, comes back with a steal. Mullen got a little careless there. Patrick Ewing had a big rebound. Good block by McHale. Perkins getting a little tired, Pete.
Well, he's played the whole time. Beautiful block by Patrick that time. I think that was a little premature whistle.
I believe you're right on that one, Pete, because actually Quinn Buckner turned the ball over at the top of the key. I think these officials, both of which are very high quality, normally working with a three-man crew, and it's pretty hot in here tonight. I believe dragging a little bit. But Quinn Buckner turned it over at the top of the key. We might see it right here. That was just as he regained it. Ewing goes up on him.
See, he had the top. He didn't get him with his body.
I think it was an excellent block.
Yeah, it was. I believe it was.
If anything, the contact was initiated by Buckner because Ewing went straight up in the air.
Right.
Patrick, of course, will still be a very dominant player in this Olympic quest for the gold because he's such a great intimidator defensively. Now here's Quinn Buckner. Watch him, he doesn't lose it. See, he lost it right there and turned it over. Yeah. And that was, then he took it down the lane, but it wasn't called on the turnover. Ewing wanting that ball inside. There's Mullen on the move, hitting that jumper.
Now, Steve Alford had a shot that time, but it wasn't as good a shot as his teammate had, Chris Mullen. That's what Coach Knight is looking for, that unselfishness.
A good step out by Patrick Ewing. Great play. Buckner coming. Alford's got it.
Beautiful play. Beautiful play. He cut Quinn off. He wouldn't let him get back and get in a defensive position. That's a freshman against a real solid pro.
Bobby Knight came right off the bench to compliment Patrick Ewing on stepping out. That was a great switch by Ewing. McHale down the lane. Good steal by Perkins. Ewing's causing some problems for the NBA right now. He and Perkins doing the job.
Now he's playing Perkins a lot of minutes, but you know he's going to have to play these players, some of them, a lot of minutes. And up to this point, he hasn't.
Nice pass by Perkins, and Patrick Ewing looks 100% better than he did yesterday, Pete, and the fact that he's moving to that ball so well.
Patrick is a young lad, and he, you know, he's up and down like young lads are. Let's take a look here. Here he is. He knocks that ball loose. Now this is just a great play by Steve Alford. Now watch how he keeps Buckner behind him. He won't let him get around, and Buckner's too smart to foul him and give him a three-pointer.
An excellent play, and here's that feed by Perkins on inside to Ewing. Kevin McHale doesn't want to give Ewing the shot, so he just picks him up off the ground. Right now, this game, USA 28, NBA All-Stars 22. Tremendous comeback by Bobby Knight's squad. We'll be right back. Pete, one of the keys for coaching any team assembling such a great group of stars as Bobby has to work with is how your substitution pattern is going to go. What do you think that he's been able to accomplish so far in practice?
Well, up to this point, he's been trying to give all the players an opportunity to play so that they get a fair chance to show him that they deserve to be maybe in the playing eight. And right at this point now, what he has to do, he has to take maybe one player or two players and play him a 12 or 14-minute stretch, because in those big games, you know, for the gold medal, you're going to have to play your key players maybe 30 minutes, and if you're playing them 20 minutes every game, they're not going to be ready to play 30.
There's Patrick Ewing stepping out again defensively. Robert Reed goes down the lane. Quite a play. Nobody stepping over to draw the charge. Now that's something that Bobby just does not like at all. He's saying the players were there, but he doesn't want anybody to go from 18 feet all the way into that basket without somebody drawing a charge. Well, there's a reach by Ewing. Turner gets over there and probably had pretty good position, Pete.
He did have good position, but he forgot to fall.
Robert Reed going to the line. Houston Rocket.
Actually, the referee's right. He did have his hands down. You can't, you know, be pushing your hands out at that man charging you.
Leon Wood with the ball. Set a national record 2 years ago playing that guard spot for assists. Mullen gets up in the air, really didn't want to be. Makes a cardinal mistake by staying back there trying to go for the steal instead of getting position. Great catch by McHale. McHale comes down on that break so well, looks the ball right into his hands.
He's smart. He knows where the alleys are, and he's still great athletic ability on that, because that would have been a charge had he not veered.
Jeff Turner picks up his second foul. Woodson and Buckner going out. Randy Whitman coming in. Jerry Seasting. Funny, the fans here in Indianapolis gave Jerry a little bit of going over when he got introduced. Huh?
Purdue.
Those Purdue players. Kevin McHale, 3 to make 2. Got a kick out of my buddy Al McGuire yesterday talking about 2 to make 3. I hadn't figured that one out. You'd have to talk to him on the phone.
Is that right?
That'd be some kind of play. Leon Wood going up against Randy Whitman. Seasting and Alford. 2 great high school players in this state from different eras. Good pass into Ewing. Not a good shot. Patrick doesn't need that shot. Good outlet to Seasting. Randy Whitman walk. And there's the turnover, Pete. Up the sideline they go, but nobody down on offense to take advantage of it. Now, right now, get some of the NBA players playing the zone, some man-to-man, a little disorganized. They get back to the 2-3 zone. Nice fake by Leon Wood. Getting down to the 30 seconds here. Alford takes his shot.
They got it to the right man. They had good patience that time. Leon Wood is very good at penetrating the zone and creating things.
So with Alford and Mullen in the ball game right now. Got 2 great perimeter shooters. Good steal. Bobby comes up off that bench again.
He had a beef that time because the official that called that
had his back to it.
Yeah, well, yeah, he was baseline, and this official had a clear view of it, and he didn't call anything.
Yep, we'll see it right here. Steve Alford coming around, reaching in. There it is. Did get a piece of the arm though. Bobby only knows one way to go after a game. Good screen. Kevin McHale. Good feed. Herb Williams, that's the jumper he likes. Even with Patrick Ewing in his face. Williams is a super player at Ohio State, where there were some battles between those Ohio State clubs in Indiana for the Big Ten championship, which IU always pulled out. Reed picking up Mullen a little tighter. Ewing going for the shot. Got fouled that time. Couldn't be a bit surprised to see Bobby go for a timeout, change his lineup a little bit. Needs to get some offense out there. Turnover. McHale stepped out of bounds. Patrick's a little confused offensively, Pete, it seems to me, in regard to what his role is to be with this ball club. Nice fake by Mullen.
Well, one of the problems, he's trying to figure what kind of a defense they're against, or they zone man, and basically that's inexperience.
One of the things with the big lane, and Patrick never has been a gifted pivot type player. I mean, he's more of a power player inside, gets the pump fakes, the good strong power moves inside. With the wider lane, he doesn't get that many advantages to do that. If he just set screens and pick up the garbage, I believe he'd be better off.
That's really what they want him to do. They want him to really do a job on defense, to do a real board job. Both boards go to the basket offensively and do a real good cleaning job on the defensive board.
Now Mullen finished 3rd in the nation in free throw shooting. So at one point in the season he was #1. Steve Alford eventually did get that. Good move. Woods got it. Alford fills the lane nicely. Good block out by Randy Whitman. Seasting the Bird. Some glide.
Beautiful bank shot that time by Bird. He floated like a bird that time.
He really did. Muhammad Ali, huh? There's a screen inside by Patrick Ewing. Larry Bird gave him a shove, knocked him about 15 feet out of bounds. Larry Bird's a lot tougher than people think.
Yeah,
he's a physical player.
He's not tougher than NBA players think. They know he's tough. Yep. You know, they don't. They have a lot of respect for him as a player.
And Patrick setting a good screen for Mullen down inside. There's Patrick. That's his shot. Good block. McHale right with him, but fouls him. Patrick looking for the shot.
Yeah.
But you'd like to have him taking that fadeaway turnaround jumper from 15 feet if you're the opponent.
Yes, right. You'd pay him to take that.
That's right. That's Just like when Wilt used to take his turnaround fadeaway jumper and all the opponents gave a sigh of relief. They didn't want him up around that board.
You know, when we played Wilt and he took that shot, I instructed my center when he'd go down the court, say, gee, that's a great shot, Wilt. Honest to goodness. And Wilt took it, kept taking it, and kill you, with that power move to the hoop. And usually they were on him for taking the shot, and we congratulated him on it. So he took about 12 that night.
34-31. This game has been going a little ebb and flow back and forth. The NBA Stars broke out on top and held it pretty well for a while, and then with Mullen coming into the ball game, giving him the lift, which I'm sure he'll do throughout not only this series but the Olympic Games. Bobby Knight's Olympic team got back in control, and now they lead by 3. Patrick Ewing on the line. Ewing, a 63% free throw shooter on the year throughout his career at Georgetown, and shooting 55 so far in the Olympic game.
He made 4 clutch free throws in that, what game was it?
That was the game over Minnesota.
Minnesota game, yes.
One of the things I had to ask about that, Pete, you're allowed to take the ball out of bounds at any time, being in the Olympic international rules. Bobby was up by 1 point at the time, 13 seconds to go, and he let Ewing shoot the shots. I was kind of surprised at that.
Well, I was too.
Here we go, 36-31. McHale has been a real force offensively. Tough pass, good play by Michael Jordan. Good feedback. Now, McHale will find out there is no limit to how high Michael Jordan can go when he comes down on that break.
Boy, there is one of the great moves right there. He takes that ball in at the foul line, just takes that little step back. I love that move.
Seems like nobody's ever within 2 feet of blocking that shot either, Pete. He puts the body on you and then goes away. Good fake by Michael Jordan inside. That ball will be thrown out of bounds. Jordan was moving in the wrong direction. There's Aguirre realizing the international rules. He played on our 1980 Olympic team that didn't get a chance to go to Moscow. Bird hands pulled away just in time. Larry Bird has some international experience. He played in the World Games that Eddie Einhorn put together back before his senior year. That's when he and Magic played on that club with Joe Hall's Kentucky team. Tough shot by Bird, really nothing there. Robertson, Perkins, Fleming. This is the original starting lineup for the Olympic team. Now there's Aguirre playing off, and Michael Jordan got to look to take that jump shot. Everybody was overplaying the ball. Michael Jordan, being underplayed, had a jump shot from maybe 18 feet.
He was looking for the pass.
Yep.
Looking for the pass.
It's kind of tough when everybody's covered that well. Mark Aguirre was laying back and nobody for Michael Jordan to throw to. He threw it out of bounds. So with 38-33, we'll break for this important message. Larry Bird.
For the NBA team, and
I think that's for the Olympic team.
Oh, they call the Olympic the home team.
36% for the NBA All-Stars. Good job by Michael Jordan on the loose ball, and there's Seesting coming back. Jordan with the quick hands recovers. Larry Bird got a piece. Boy, Robertson takes that ball to the basket so well, so strong. Thinking back, we'd mentioned Darrell Walker, but Eddie Sutton's been blessed with some pretty good guard play down there. Sidney Moncrief, Brewer, Delph, Walker, and Robertson. Not a bad five-some over a period of, let's see, they played in the 1978
I have to think that the players are blessed with a coach that can really develop guards, too, because you just don't have outstanding guards like that without a really good teaching and coaching.
That's right, Ed. They're very gifted athletes. Tremendous all-around athletic ability, like a Sidney Moncrief who can go forever. Robertson and Walker out of that same mold, and Brewer had that same physical strength and stamina. Isaiah Thomas back in the ball game with Parrish. Paxson, Aguirre, and Bird. Robertson makes every dribble a contest. Nice feed by Mark Aguirre. Larry Bird got pushed. Beautiful feed.
That was just some kind of a play, Alvin Robertson. Alvin Robertson probably has improved more the last 2 weeks than anybody on the team.
There's Aguirre. Everybody remembers his rookie season was averaging just about 25 points a game. Then had that broken foot take place, slowed him up, but he's come back and having a great professional career. Player of the year at DePaul. There's a good feed. Isaiah Thomas. Now that should have been a foul earlier, Pete. There's a case where you go ahead and commit that foul. You got to be thinking out there. You can't let a man have that uncontested break.
See, now they're in a zone, and it's a little confusing for, you know, for an all-star team like the Olympic players are.
There's Isaiah with another steal. And Fleming has to reach in. Thomas just so quick.
This is what they're going to run into in the Olympics, Billy, as you know. They're going to run into alternating defenses, zone one time, man-to-man. And it's not easy to... let's take a look at this replay. Now, that ball was knocked loose by Isaiah, and Alvin is...
Fleming tried to reach back
Fleming bumped. It looked like there was a bumping on both sides that time.
Isaiah putting it between his legs a few times, makes the good dish inside, and Paxson knew he should have had that one. That's a good pass.
But there was good pressure in the ball, Billy. You know, it's amazing how many passes don't get to the receiver when there's good pressure in the ball. Now we're at the zone again.
Yep. Joe Klein in the middle has got it. A good pump fake, gets it out. Bird's quick hands makes the steal. Good pass by Paxson. Oh, good job by Michael Jordan. He anticipated.
Wasn't that something?
Isaiah a little disturbed with himself there for throwing that one away. Sam Perkins again, a little right-handed half hook.
Sam Perkins scores, number 14.
And look at Perkins getting all the way back down court defensively. Now, Bobby Knight loved that. He makes the shot.
You have to.
Makes the shot on one end, is the first guy down court on the other. That's a great play. Robertson coming out, Leon Wood going back in. Now here you see Sam Perkins makes the half hook, and now watch him take off down the other end, and was the man that broke up the play. Fine play. Klein in there, Konkak in the ball game from SMU. Now Wood's got to make that shot. He hadn't been looking for his jumper, Pete. He looked for the pass. Jumper second.
They really don't have a shooting team in there now.
That's a nice feed. And it goes. Pushing off on the inside, Konkak. Yeah, that Southwest Conference had themselves Elijah Wan, Konkak, and Klein. Three excellent centers in that league.
That's right, three of them.
Bobby Knight up.
That'll be a shooting.
46-37. Olympic team in the lead. We're going to have a shooting foul now. Everything 2 now for the NBA. And let's see who's going to go to the line. I believe it's going to be Larry Bird. They were jousting around on the inside. Kevin Lockerty up. The NBA wants this game, Pete. A little bit of pride at stake here.
I think I would say that this is the best I've seen the NBA All-Stars play. And yet I think this is the best I've seen the Olympic team play.
You know, I was thinking, Pete, as everybody was standing out here, if there was ever going to be a time, if you're just think of Steve Alford, okay, as an example. 19 years of age, you're standing out here in front of 71,000 people, seeing guys like Larry Bird introduced on the other end of the floor. I mean, if you're going to choke at any time in this little stretch of games, this would be the night for it. But our players are coming out, our Olympic players coming out, seem to be very much under control. Back to the man-to-man again. Good screening inside by Konkak and Klein. Michael Jordan with that incredible first step. Right by Marcus Wyatt.
That's that bank shot we were talking about, Billy, that time.
Michael Jordan, number 9.
Larry Bird goes on him. Good help on the inside by Konkak. He's a player that I think is going to have quite a career in not only next year collegiately at SMU, a team that's going to be very much in the running on the national
Let's
scene.
take a look at this replay. Now, Contact got called with the foul. Here we see Paxson going to the hoop. And
I disagree with that.
Yeah, I do too. He's standing there. I mean, there's some rights a defensive man has.
That's Konkak's second
Let's
foul.
take a look here. Now here, Paxson gets the ball. He commits himself, but the kid's standing there. He's got his hands up.
Yep. He has just as much right to that position as anybody else.
Absolutely.
Now the NBA starting to pick up a little higher. 48-40. 23 seconds to go, so the shot clock cannot go off. Our guys should be thinking about one shot here, Pete.
Yeah, they've been told that from the bench.
We just don't want to give the NBA All-Stars another chance to get anything off offensively. And there's Isaiah Thomas reaching in on Michael Jordan, trying to help out his old buddy from Chicago, Mark Aguirre.
7 seconds to go now. They'll bother that ball in the backcourt, but I don't think they'll risk a foul.
Both teams obviously in a position now to shoot that 2 shots, so you don't want to commit the foul with just 7 seconds to go. But as you say, Pete, give them a little trouble getting it up court to occupy some of that time.
They want to stop that that pass to the midline, like Aguirre is standing around the midline. If they get that ball out to him, they'll get a good shot.
Well, here's a guy you don't want to have that ball in his hands either. He can get down the court in a hurry. Makes a good pass. Aguirre on a jump shot. Took too long, and it will not count. A very good first half, 50-40. Bobby Knight's Olympic team still looking very good, Pete.
It was a very excellent half by the USA team, and certainly by the NBA All-Stars.
Quite a competitive second half underway. We'll be back after these important words with a great halftime show for you.
This is it for one day only at Brenner. Wednesday only. Save on this 13-inch color portable TV, $157. This is it for one day only at Brenner. Save on this GE countertop microwave oven, $223. Wednesday only. Save on this Whirlpool room air conditioner, $237. This is it, the sale you've been waiting for one day only. Wednesday only at
For prices this low, this is it.
Well, Pete, it's not Kansas City with Michael Jackson, but awful close to it. And we've got more people here than Michael Jackson had the other night down at Arrowhead Stadium. And quite an attraction here for the state of Indiana. A full floor show going on now here at halftime. But in regard to this basketball game, 50-40, Bobby Knight's Olympic team leads. I think this, as you pointed out, Pete, the best that they've looked so far, and it looks like he's bringing this club together.
Yeah, I think so. They really concentrated on the defense. They started off working on the transition game, going from offense to defense, and they've really improved that. They've worked also very hard in putting the pressure on the ball, and I think it's very obvious out there. Robertson and Fleming in particular have just done an outstanding job of pressuring the ball. They've also worked on their defensive rotation. Offensively, they've worked, but they haven't concentrated up to this point, and I agree with that. I think you really have to hang your hat on any important competition like the Olympics or championships on defense. And you start with that, and I think the offense will slowly come, but by the Olympics it'll peak.
Pete, looking out here, and that's the way Bobby, of course, starts back in October 15th when he takes his collegiate team together. He gets that defense set and then brings his offense in. I can remember a couple of years ago when he played against the Soviet Union team, and we had it early on the CBS, and Bobby had never even worked against the zone because at that time of the year he wasn't ready to put that in his offensive structure. So that is the way that he's been playing the game for a long time.
Well, you know, in coaching, you have to determine your priorities, and once you do, then you stay with them. You don't start to vacillate. You know, in that 60 team that I had, Billy, which was truly a great team, we got beat our first game, and we got beat because we weren't prepared to play. I only had 3 or 4 days, and you have to start with any kind of a team with conditioning, and then you try your organization, and you go to refinement, and that is your priority list, in my view anyway. And we weren't organized well, and certainly weren't refined. As a result, we lost our first exhibition game. But 10 days later, we beat that same team of about 28 points.
Well, we're going to come back after this important message with Chuck Marlowe and one of those guys that played for you on that 1960 Olympic team. Be right back after this message.
Kids are kids.
Well, I learned how to fall.
Kids are kids, it's true. When a kid needs help, a mom knows what to do.
Mom calling? Kool-Aid! Thanks, Mom.
Kool-Aid to the rescue. Kool-Aid unsweetened with vitamin C. With my sugar, it's about 1/4 the price of soda.
That hit the spot.
So will this.
Kool-Aid is the one for kids.
Kool-Aid brand soft drink mix.
The trouble with having fruit and cereal is you run out of fruit and are left with just cereal. But that won't happen with Post Raisin Bran, because Post packs 3 packs of plump, sweet raisins into every box and combines them with crispy bran flakes, so you can get raisins in every spoonful. With Post, you won't run out of fruit. Post Raisin Bran, the fruit and cereal lover's cereal. Look for the free milk offer on these fine Post cereals and pour half a gallon on us.
Before close to 70,000 fans here at the Hoosier Dome, the first sporting event extravaganza from this great new arena. It's up with people, and we're at halftime with the NBA All-Stars trailing in this game to the USA Olympians 50-40. We have a man with us now who was a member of that 1960 team, as Billy Packer said just a moment ago. Walt Bellamy, the color man in tonight's contest, is your coach, Pete Newell. And I guess it's old home week having you two former greats back here.
Well, it's always good to fellowship with Coach Newell. Of course, as you know, there's a great interest in comparing this team, the 1984 team, with the 1960 team. And I would be the first to admit that there are some very talented players on this team. And I think that any edge that we would give to the 84 team, of course, it would be Coach Knight and his fine staff, who I think have assembled some tremendous talent, and I'm sure that they will be a very credit to basketball, and I'm sure they're going to represent the red, white, and blue in Los Angeles, and certainly will be a very formidable foe against any team of international competition.
Let me ask you one question, Walt. Your last year was with the Atlanta Hawks in 1974. What would it have been like to have played in an arena in front of 71,000 fans?
Of course, I'm still ecstatic just from receiving an invitation to come and be in such a gathering as this. Coach Knight made it so clear in his remarks this evening that this only could happen in Indiana in July, where 70,000 people could come and watch basketball in July. And I'm just elated. I can't imagine that we would, during my career, have been in before this many people playing basketball. I'm sure it certainly has to be an up. It's just ecstatic. I mean, everybody, even the fans, as they ask to wave their flags, everybody's into the tempo, and I think that's a contribution to our country. And I certainly, it's very credible, if I may say, to deviate. I certainly would like to pause and give a great deal of credence to the men of the NBA who have donated their services and their time to come out and provide such a valuable service to the Olympic team, because this is some of the best training they can get behind some of the best basketball players in the world.
Walt, it's so nice to talk with you again. Thank you so much for coming back to the state that you helped make great down at Indiana.
Thank you, Chuck.
Thank you very, very kindly. Walt Bellamy, Olympian, Hall of Fame. We'll be back with more halftime here at the Hoosier Dome in just a moment.
Savage streets, a turned-on world of glittering lights and sudden violence.
Brenda, you can't take the whole world on by yourself. You don't know anything.
We're gonna play a little game, baby. Linda Blair and stars in Savage Streets. Rated R.
Starts Friday at a theater or drive-in near you.
We're back here at halftime at the Hoosier Dome. The first event this great night of July 9th here in Indianapolis is one that many will remember. Everyone here tonight, a part of history in the making. The score at halftime is 50-40. And the USA Stars are leading the NBA All-Stars. I think it's really a tribute, as Walt Bellamy said just a moment ago, that these stars give it their time. I'm speaking of the NBA stars, give it their time with so little compensation. We're talking about men that make $250,000 to $500,000 a year and a lot of contingencies added to that. And they're coming in here playing for roughly $50 in trans in their meals. And that goes for Larry Bird, Kevin McHale, Quinn Buckner, right on down the line. Our congratulations to them for making this NBA USA All-Star matchup throughout the pre-Olympics as huge a success as it has been up to this day. Billy and Pete will be back with halftime statistics in just a moment.
She believes in working out with all her might. She believes in looking good and eating right. She believes in Crystal Light, 'cause she believes in me.
New Crystal Light drink mix is sweetened a whole new way. There's no sugar, no saccharin, and no saccharin aftertaste. All these natural flavors taste so terrific.
It's hard to believe there's only 4 calories a glass.
She believes in Crystal Light, 'cause she believes in me.
Back in the Hoosier Dome, 50-40, Pete Newell, Billy Packer. It's been quite a first half. Pete, some of the things jump out at me a little bit in regard to the statistics in the first half. Bobby's got his club. When he looks down at something he's got to be very happy with. The club shooting 54%, and that's not with one particular guy having a hot hand. Everybody taking pretty good shots.
He's had the best balanced scoring, and the last two games have not shot a good percent. One was 38%, and I think around 43, 44 the last game, and he's been concerned about that. But their shot selection has been better tonight, and usually, as you know, Billy, when you have better shot selection, you usually shoot a better percentage.
What I also know that he likes, and although they're being out-rebounded, turnovers 7-13 in favor of the Olympic team, and the fact that they're taking much better care of the ball, which Bobby likes, and the fact that with them shooting 54%, the NBA only shooting 45%, he's got to like the way that defense is not giving up anything easy in the inside.
That's right, and they're well, they're not doing a really great job on the board. They're not doing a bad job, and they're as I said earlier, they seem to be handling the transition pretty well, and if they can just keep that defensive pressure on, and they can handle that transition and force to play the half-court game, the NBA, I believe they'll be all right.
And here you look at some of the individual stats. Michael Jordan, he picked up those 2 fouls, getting an education with Larry Bird early. Has 8 points, has been very good going to the hoop. Mullen, who comes off that bench with that jump shot of his, is going to be a real important factor for the club. Robertson having his second strong game offensively with 8 points and doing a great job defensively.
4 boards, yeah, 4 boards,
rebounds
too.
Out there. Steve Alford, who came in and did exactly what Mullen did, giving a good outside shooting and protecting the ball well. Vern Fleming and Sam Perkins, who I thought played both ends of the court as well as anybody on the floor tonight.
Sam did it every facet of the game. He has played well, and he played a lot of minutes. You know, as I was saying earlier, Billy, it's very important that Sam and Jordan particularly gets long stints now. Not every game, but these practice games, but one or the other, most every game.
And there, Pete, Ewing and Tisdale with 4 points each. Ewing basically from the foul line, Wayman. And that's, I think, the point that you made so well right before we went out at halftime is the fact that the last thing that's probably going to come together for this club is going to be the inside offensive play of the big guys. That will eventually come.
I think so. I think that right now what they're trying to do is get their spacing, Billy. He's working. There's a lot of players that are called upon to make screens, like Tisdale. Never screened before. They've always been the recipient of a screen, you know. And they never bothered about spacing because they've been posted up. And now, you know, they're not big enough to play the center, so they have to play the forward spots. So it's adjustment.
There you see the NBA All-Stars, Larry Bird with 10 points. Isaiah Thomas with 8. He's been all over the floor. Paxson, the recipient of some of those good passes from Larry Bird. McHale on the break. Aguirre hasn't put up many shots from the outside. I expect him to be more aggressive here in the second half offensively. Robert Reed, who did a good job defensively. Williams, Parrish, and Buckner filling out the scoring for the NBA All-Stars. So we're at 50-40 here at halftime. Bobby Knight has to be relatively happy the way the team played today as opposed to what he did in the first half yesterday.
Yeah, I know he likes the intensity because that's one of the things he's been a little worried about, being able to sustain intensity. They'd play maybe 4 or 5 minutes with intensity, and then there'd be a little lapse, and they'd build up a little lead, and then they'd lose it because they would get into kind of a lethargic play. But tonight, I thought that they sustained themselves very well.
Both teams, in my opinion, did an excellent job starting out this ball game because they stood around for the tremendous ceremony that took place for about a half an hour, and many times when that takes place, it takes you maybe 8-10 minutes of playing time before you can get your game together. But they came out of the box very well. 50-40 the score, as we mentioned. Pete, I go back to the last day of the trials when Bobby was giving them a little instruction when he still had the full complement of players there, and he said he would not be satisfied to win Olympic games with scores of 155 to 150. He would accept games maybe 90 to 45. He'd love to have some 150 to 45, but he didn't want any blowouts where they just swap baskets back and forth.
No, and I don't think you'll see that because those kind of, if you get in those kind of games, anything can happen. You don't have control then, Billy, and he wants control, and any coach that you know, is really into it, wants control. And when you get a 150, 145 game, you know, you're out of control, your players are out of control, the team is out of control, and you as a coach, you're out of control.
And here's Bobby coming back with that lineup that's starting to look like they're getting accustomed to being out there in the first squad. Tisdale, Perkins, Jordan, Robertson, and Fleming. For the NBA All-Stars, Parrish and Bird and Aguirre, Paxson and Isaiah Thomas. The second time, Sam Perkins got the tap from Robert Parrish.
Sam is 6'9", but with those long arms, he plays about 7 feet.
And there's that 2-3 zone the NBA starting off with here in the second half. Good pass and good catch by Perkins coming across the lane. Tough shot right over Robert Parrish.
Right in the middle of that zone. Yeah, that...
Dallas is talking about playing him in the post, and Pete, I've seen him play an awful lot of games. I thought maybe they're overstating the position. Might be better as a forward, but to shoot over Parrish, no easy task. Isaiah responds. There should be a foul here by Isaiah Thomas. Not a good play by Isaiah to let it go that far. And under international rules, you want to foul that guy before he gets a chance to lay it up.
Vern Fleming did a good job there, Billy. He anticipated he was going to miss the shot and got that easy rebound. Too often they anticipate he's going to make it and they let up.
Hey, Robertson giving Isaiah Thomas a fit out there.
He plays defense with his feet. That's the way you're supposed to play defense.
Paxson, a good shooter from there. Bombs it out, no problem. Bobby probably wondering where the defense was. Perkins open on the side. Aguirre looking to give Michael Jordan that jump shot. There's Perkins. He's been open on that side ever since they crossed half court. Good feed to Paxson. There's Perkins again hustling Pete all the way down court.
Perkins made a great play. He got hit by Bird, it looked like, and that forced the
call a violation. Bobby can't believe that one. Bobby been up and down. He's going to lose 15 pounds going up and down his steps. And there was Perkins coming over for the steal. Bird pushes him out of bounds, and the NBA picks up a basket. And Bobby going to let the officials know about that one.
USA 54, NBA 44.
Bobby and Hank Nichols going after each other a little bit. Good penetration by Robertson. Right against that 2-3 zone, it's always a seam down there, Pete.
That's right, and he attacks that seam really well.
Nobody moving. Isaiah thought somebody'd break down that lane. Nice job by Paxson getting back on defense. Fleming open. Good steal by Aguirre. Back to Robertson. Good feed. Now Bobby Knight's really hot because the ball was smacked right out of Sam Perkins' hands. Good feed by Larry Bird. Everybody was so conscious of him, Pete, coming down because of his great offensive ability that they kind of mesmerized.
It looked like the Olympic players were wondering what he was going to do, and they kind of was watching to see what kind of a play he was going to make.
Fleming doesn't hit. I look for Mullen coming in this ball game shortly just to get a little offensive shooting against that zone. There's Kevin Lockerty down there. He wants his ball games. Got the shirt off. He lost enough games with Chicago this year. He wants this one in the bag. Tisdale looking for the screen away. And Robertson again. He's been taking that jump shot and hit it. Parrish with the rebound. Thomas hits ahead. Beautiful passing. You know what, Pete? That was a 3-second violation. International ball. That 3-second range starts. Bobby Knight really hot. He wants a timeout. The NBA stars are really coming back.
The beautiful pass here, and then Paxson spots him. How long he was standing there, Billy, I don't know, but he may have been there 3 seconds.
That's right, that 3-second violation takes place. Larry Bird gets 2, and Olympians ahead, 56-48. We'll be right back.
Tonight, you have set the all-time U.S. basketball.
Now, Bobby Knight with the lead here by 8 points, but not satisfied the way his team was playing defensively. He substituted a whole new unit out there right now. Joe Klein from Arkansas going up. Arkansas and North Carolina both having 2 men on this Olympic team. But this NBA squad looks like it's really a cohesive unit now. Into Aguirre. Goes up, gets the ball back. Ewing with a foul.
Well, nobody screened when Aguirre took that first shot. Everybody went up for the block, and nobody bothered to screen him.
Well, blocking out gets you in an awful lot of trouble, particularly against seasoned veterans like the NBA has it. Okay, right now, in regard to the shooting, what you can do on a lane, when that ball hits that rim, you can go in there. But as an offensive player, it's not a violation to go in that lane if you're Parrish or Bird. If the shot goes in, it's not a violation. so you might as well take the gamble. I'm sure the NBA players aren't used to this, but it'd be something for Parrish and Bird to go ahead in that lane right away.
That's your percentage to go in there, and you know, on this shot, on this foul shot right here now. And if he makes it offensively, you still get the point. If he misses it, and they call it,
nothing but a violation.
Nothing but a violation, and they may miss it.
That's right. Particularly when you have yourself good free throw shooters up there. So 2 more to go. The game getting a little tighter, 56-50. 16-20 to go in the half. They're playing 2 20-minute halves in this game. Ewing passing the ball back out. Klein and Ewing setting some strong screens on the inside. McGuire very much aware of Mullins' jump shot. He's rushing out there, making him put the ball on the floor. Patrick Ewing, there's what we were talking about, Pete. Get the garbage plays.
We're talking today about that with Patrick, about anticipating every time your teammate shoots. As an offensive rebounder, you should anticipate he's going to miss it, and then you're ready for the shot.
There's Ewing blocking Parrish's turnaround jumper. Wood on the break. Mullen on a jump shot, that looked good.
Well, you see, Leon saw his shooter there, and he just waited for the shooter to clear.
Paxson and there's Ewing really getting in the action. Are they going to call that Joe Klein on the block? It actually should be goaltending. Patrick Ewing threw that one away.
Let's take a look now. Up to this game, they've been calling the offensive charge. Now, I haven't seen it called, I don't believe, all night tonight. Now,
Ed Mullen coming across. Now, Ewing not being blocked out, goes right over the top of Parrish from the backside. And Pete, that's just what we were talking about. If Patrick will set the screens, keep moving, and pick up the garbage points, he can get them 12, 14 points a game and never have to touch the ball offensively.
Just anticipate that shot's going to miss and then be ready for that rebound, and then you're going forward.
Paxson, an excellent free throw shooter. His father, an NBA player, and of course his brother, outstanding player at Notre Dame, now also in the NBA with San Antonio. Leon Wood going to the Philadelphia 76ers. Mullen walked, got away with it. Everybody covered, and Klein had himself a lane. Good job by Alfred coming out. Bird on Klein. Great pass. Larry Bird doing a good job defensively and coming over the back. NBA getting the brakes on the referee, and so far this half. McGuire takes it to the lane, and they call it a charge. And how about the basket?
No, I don't believe they call that basket. Let's see.
Takes it away. Mark McGuire took it to the lane. 60-52 Olympic team. We'll see that hit ahead by Isaiah Thomas.
See, he had a good position that time, although he did move a little. That was looked like less of a charge than some of those others.
I really admire the way the NBA is picking up the intensity defensively right now. They are playing hard. They do not want to lose this ball game. And there was a case where Larry Bird took more than the 3 steps, and they'll pull that one back on you. Normally you can get away with it. Klein on Bird. How about that one-hander coming up? Good steal. Alfred hits Mullen, layup good.
Beautiful pass by Steve Alford.
Larry Bird looked like he was trying to go a little bit solo on that last play and got the good steal by Alfred.
Well, he was looking for somebody to be open. Anytime you double Larry, he's looking for that open. You know, if there's 2 men on him, somebody's free.
After watching him play against the Lakers in the NBA playoff, Larry Bird doesn't want to lose this game any more than he wanted to lose to the Lakers. He is playing hard out there. Maybe not in as good a shape as he was 2-3 weeks ago, but he's playing hard. Oh, nice play by Ewing on the inside. Patrick starting to come on now, Pete. This got to make not only Patrick happy, but Bobby Knight also.
Well, we said it earlier, Billy. The offense, I think, will come as they go. But this is a very, very important player to the NBA team, Patrick Ewing. And there's going to be periods, I think, where they're really going to need him.
Now, Patrick was, of course, the leading rebounder in the Big East.
His third personal, 13 seconds.
Bobby coming over, want to know, Pete, if we can help him on the scorer's table. We got our hands full just getting his game announced. I swap places with him, but I don't want to try to run a score table. First team All-American in the last 2 years, MVP in the NCAA tournament this year. And he'll be back with just about that entire cast for Georgetown. That's going to be some college basketball team next year. Isaiah Thomas.
Look at that, Billy. He did a really a good job of helping out there, stepping up. That's good defense by the Olympic team.
McGuire on a reach in. Going to be a foul on Leon Wood, but I think you pointed out, Pete, they really helped out on defense that time.
They kept looking for that man open inside, and there was such good rotation. He was never open inside.
Well, Pete, I think that I mentioned that Georgetown club, and coming back, I'm going to throw a little trivia question at you. We've got 13:42 to go. The USA up 66-52, and despite that rush by the NBA All-Stars, the Olympic team met the challenge.
They played a consistent game, even if they lost their lead slowly. There was no, not giveaway points really, and they've made the NBA All-Stars earn every basket, and that hasn't been the case up to this point. They've won games, but they've given a lot of easy baskets away in the process. But I don't think there's been open baskets, but it's been great NBA play that got them.
We'll be right back after this important word.
The other day I was shopping, and I bought a can of Valet in a spray. Then a very funny thing happened.
How do you do? I'm your valet in a spray to help you do away with wrinkles in your wardrobe.
Valet in a spray works best on cotton and cotton blends and most wool blends. Deep wrinkles may require some stretching, but it's still a lot easier than ironing.
Wrinkled shirt? Off to work. Fewer wrinkles in your travel when you travel with me. Your valet in a spray.
Now available at all People's Drugs.
Back in the action, NBA getting the ball out of bounds. Good save by Larry Bird. Throws it the right place. That's a smart move by Larry Bird. If you're down under the other team's basket, always throw it the length of the court. If you're near your basket, throw it up there and maybe something lucky will happen.
Didn't come too far from going in.
Would have been quite a shot. Bobby Knight again up off that bench. Now watch Larry Bird. Has such great instincts for the game. McGuire got on the inside. Alfred with the steal coming on down. I don't think he realized Isaiah Thomas was right in there behind him. Pete, what I was going to ask you is this. I don't think anybody has ever had in the same year two of his disciples win both the NBA championship and the NCAA championship. Red Auerbach this year with Casey Jones winning the NBA and John Thompson winning the NCAA.
That's right. That is the first.
I don't think that's ever happened before. Little push off on the inside. Robert Parrish, Klein, tough man to push off. He may not be an NBA man in age. The transfer from Notre Dame that's down at Arkansas now, but he's a tough man to push out the lane.
And he's kind of a Collins type of player, isn't he? He doesn't have quite the offensive ability of the redhead, but...
Good move by Patrick Ewing. And gets a good tap. Now that ball alive on the rim. The NBA player's not used to that rule either. Ewing went right back and got his own, and there's Larry Bird using that little pump fake again. Good rebound by Joe Klein. But the NBA player's getting a little tired right now. Good job by Mullen. Gets fouled. Here's all the way back. Paxson, a good dish to Aguirre. Goes up against Klein. Klein doing a good job inside. Leon Wood gets it stripped by Isaiah Thomas. And Mark Aguirre for it. That's the third time in this game Isaiah has been able to stop a fast break and turn it the other way. Technical foul on Bobby Knight. Well, one good thing about it, Pete, that technical foul only is one shot in international rules.
Is that all it is?
Just the opposite of our collegiate game. It's 2 shots on a player, 1 on a coach. That is going to change the new international rules that will take place after these Olympic Games.
International play counts as a team foul.
Bobby all the way down the other end, and if this was a collegiate game, he'd have himself another one right now. He comes to play. Be a timeout right now. 67-54, USA in the lead. Bobby Knight not happy at all with the physical play that took place on that exchange. We'll be right back. Pete, nobody knows this guy any better than you do. That little exchange he had out there. You're the official now, Pete. You're good buddies. What would you do to Bobby if he came out after you like that? As
well, if I was an official, I would never have walked over to him after he'd called the technical. You walk away. It's like a baseball umpire. You walk away from trouble. Now, if the man keeps, you know, whoever, the Bobby or whoever, keeps falling you all over the court, then, you know, you have to do something about it. But when you, as an official or an umpire, you walk toward the trouble, you know, you're bringing on a lot of trouble. You're creating problems where maybe they wouldn't be.
Well, Hank happens to be from Philadelphia, and the other official happens to be from Roanoke, Virginia. And I wouldn't thumb Bobby Knight out of a game like this one for any amount of money. Isaiah Thomas hits it. There's 71,000 some odd people. Well, actually, 67,596 has been announced as the official attendance, which breaks the all-time record of a basketball game in the United States in regard to attendance. So quite a compliment. There still is in the Guinness Book of Records, 75,000 people saw the Globetrotters play in West Berlin, which is the all-time record. Good feed inside again. Leon Wood with a penetration.
Leon makes some mistakes, but he does a lot of positive things too.
NBA right now, they're trying to win this ball game harder than any point in this ball game. Robert Parrish on the inside, playing as hard as he can go. They do not want to lose this ball game. And with 67-60 being the score, they're going to make a big push. Bobby Knight coming back with his starting club again. Zone defense. Leon Wood outside on that 2-3. Let's see if he can hit that jumper. He needs one to push off. The push off by Joe Klein. And here we have a complete substitution change. Bobby Knight comes back with the original starting lineup. Kevin Lockety going to make some changes. Leaves Bird in the game. Seasting and Thomas in the backcourt. Robert Reed, Bird, and Kevin McHale up front.
They had a wrong score up there a minute ago, Billy, didn't they? It's 11.
Now it's 11. Yeah, they changed the score. They had up 60. Put 2 points on the wrong team, I believe. There's a push off on the inside on Wayman Tisdale going up against McHale. They changed the score back now, Pete. 69-58, 11-point lead. My mistake.
It wasn't your mistake. It was their mistake. They had it the other way. They had it down to 9.
But right now, and I'm really surprised. Before this game started, I thought the NBA team would be able to take this Olympic squad. I'd have to admit that. And they still may do it, but they've got a rough road to hoe right here.
Personal foul, USA, number 17.
Pete, what do you think about playing man-to-man and out-of-bounds situations?
Absolutely, you play it. You know, I see more teams zone. Look at that shot off that time.
Good push. Nice block by Tisdale. Kevin McHale wanting goaltending on that play and probably should have had it. Jordan trying to take Reed. Much better movement right now. Seasting goes up. Isaiah Thomas sees it. Good lead pass. He'll never get that off on Sam Perkins. I sense the NBA ready to make a run here.
Yeah, they got some fresh players in there now. And they've got Isaiah and Larry.
Nice feed of Larry Bird going right up on Sam Perkins and makes the block. Excellent play. Now Larry Bird not being a leaper, but still timed that defensive play perfectly.
He's just, you know, he's not a leaper, but he makes the play. He somehow makes the play.
There he is, going right up on Sam Perkins. Excellent play defensively, and we've got the NBA ready to make a run right here. 69-60, the Olympic stars in the lead. But with plays like that, you can expect the NBA to come right back. We'll be right back. Pete, we've got the Olympic team still holding on to that lead, but we see that extra special push. It looks like Kevin Lockhety's going to stick as much as he can now with his supreme lineup out there. And we'll see what's going to happen the rest of the way. Bobby Knight needed that timeout himself. Get his club reorganized. Jump ball situation. Perkins going up against Bird. Bird gets it. Good hustle by Michael Jordan. Probably not a wise pass by Isaiah. Nothing there. He's mad at himself.
Really a smart play on that jump ball to get that.
Nice job by Vern Fleming filling the lane. Here's Isaiah hitting the head. Kevin McHale again, as usual, on that break. McHale can't believe the call, but he got forced out by Michael Jordan. That Olympic team's got to settle down a little bit offensively.
Well, they have a new group in there, and it's going to take a little while to get their rhythm of offense going again.
There's Robertson right from the distance that he likes. Good push off by Reed.
That really was a push off.
The betters pick up Isaiah. Larry Bird with that outside jumper. Now this game down to 7, 69-62, 9:21 to go. Look for Mullen to come back in his ball game. Against that 2-3 zone, they need that outside shooter.
They don't really have a zone offensive team in there. Their shooters, Mullen and Alford, their two best outside shooters, along with Tisdale. Now they got Alford in there.
Alford back in there. Isaiah wanted that block real bad. Of course, he's had, you know, in the NBA, Isaiah's had games where he's blocked 4 shots.
He's an amazing player. I love to watch him play basketball.
I guess he's played more minutes than anybody in the NBA even this past year. Sam Perkins in a tough turnaround shot.
Really beautiful square up in his shoulders. He's got great hand action in his shot, Billy. Great, both his shooting hand and his offhand. Look at that. Look at that.
That's something Sam Perkins can do pretty well, too. He's an excellent defensive player. Michael Jordan on Reed. What a play!
Alford made a nice play. Well, it was Sam to Alford to Michael. Michael made that against pretty good jumper, too.
You better believe it. Reed can get in the air. Seasting hits from the outside. We're getting some real competition in this ball game. Nothing could prepare these kids for the Olympics any better than a ball game like this.
So right, Billy. This is good basketball.
Steve Alford making a good save. Bird comes over the shoulder. About the only thing that went wrong that I can think of tonight is that they had a break in the sewer main. Here's Sam Perkins going. I'll get back to that in a second. Alford comes up with it. Hits ahead to Michael Jordan, who gets it. Robert Reed takes it right to the hoop and is able to go right over him. Some play. The only thing I said went wrong tonight is that water main broke and there were no sewage here in the gymnasium for the 67,000 people.
I was kind of interested at halftime to find out if it was fixed.
Well, evidently, we'll be right back. 73-64, the Olympic team leads. Okay, we're back in action. Tonight's game is brought to you in part by Stouts RV Sales, home of the $3 million RV inventory, located in Greenwood, Indiana. Well, there's the score, Pete, 73-64. Every time the NBA starts to make their run, the Olympians hang right in there, and they're doing some job. There's rebounds. Actually, at halftime, the NBA All-Stars had a little bigger spread than they have right now. 2-3 zone, Alford in the ball game. Leon Wood. Perkins breaking in the middle nicely. Leon Wood's got to hit that jumper from the top of the key when it's there. There's Perkins going up. Reed gets an arm.
Really good movement that time, Billy. They got the ball inside against the zone and forced that man in the middle to come out and pick it up, and Perkins along the baseline open.
The Sam Perkins ended up his career at North Carolina as the second leading all-time scorer there behind Phil Ford. Leading rebounder in the school's history. He led the Atlantic Coast Conference at some point this year, at most of the season, as a free throw shooter. We saw at the other end of the court against Larry Bird one-on-one, an excellent individual defensive player. Just a fine all-around talent.
You know, I don't know how good he's going to be in the NBA. I know he's going to be very good, but he may be just super. You know, there's been so many North Carolina players that have gone on to great stardom in the NBA, and he may be just as good or better than any of them.
Last year, Sam made his mark down the Pan Am Games, so he has a lot of international experience. Sam and Michael Jordan, Leon Wood played down there last year, Tisdale. So actually 4 members of that gold medal team are out in the court right now. They got that good experience. Nice shot by Kevin McHale.
He made that against a lot of defense that time. There's 3 men on him, and he made a great pivot, opened himself up for that shot. He's just a really a good player.
Kevin kidding about that hook shot there. Normally he doesn't take that hook playing with the Celtics. He shoots that jumper of his so well and moves on the break so well.
He's got one of those Bernard King little hooks now he's been developing, which is a very good shot, I think, in the basket areas. Hard to get at.
It's a good-looking free throw. Had some trouble in the NBA playoffs game, missing some free throws against L.A. that could have cost him. There's that 2-3 zone. Woodson in the ball game. They're giving Wood that jump shot, and he's got to take it. He's got to take that shot.
And, you know, he's one of the really fine shooters.
Good feed. Michael Jordan, that's the shot he wants. Robert Reed. It's Woodson who can take it to the hoop. Leon Wood making a fake.
Charging foul against the NBA.
Woodson wanting that play. He won't see that call in the NBA. Here we see the pass over from Reed. Woodson taking it to the hole. Makes contact. Wood falls right down. The foul called against Woodson. Same play, a little different angle. There's the foul call. Now there's Leon Woods. Got to take and make that shot.
Oh, he's a fine shooter in college. Averaged 27, 28 points, and really can put down a shot. A lot more depth than that one.
Robert Reed taking it down there. Houston product. Patrick Ewing and Mullen getting ready to come back in the ball game. One thing I've been impressed by also, Pete, is the fact that our guards on the Olympic team really handling pressure pretty well. There's Michael Jordan's shot. You can't stop him in there.
They're getting better, Billy, at handling the pressure.
Jordan on Reed. Reed goes baseline, takes a tough shot. Herb Williams with the rebound, takes a tougher shot, and McHale taps it in.
Tip in by Kevin McHale. USA 79.
79-71, 6:22 to go. 30-second shot clock has not been a factor in this game. Sam Perkins going on Williams, doesn't get it to fall. Nobody rebounding. Bobby Knight wanting somebody else on that offensive board, primarily Wayman Tisdale. That's got to be a foul on Tisdale. Tisdale made the contact. I don't blame the NBA stars for being upset with that one. They've thrown the ball all the way to the ceiling.
I agree with you on that, Billy. That looked like he was the defensive man came on into him.
I don't blame Kevin at all.
But Kevin's going to get his technical.
Well, he might as well. That foul, no question, that contact was initiated by the Olympic players. You'll see it right here. Tisdale comes over, makes the contact. Yeah. Without question, it was a defensive play. And here we go. Kevin really getting hot now. You think these fellas aren't competitive in nature to want to win this ball game. As you mentioned, Kevin, outstanding NBA player. Now Bobby wanting to go ahead and make sure that he gets in his little piece of exchange. Now, Pete, I want to ask you something about this. We've got two American officials out there, two of the best we've got in this country. Now, what's going to happen in the Olympics when very seldom do you get officials of this quality refereeing a ball game, and you take that chance of getting thrown out?
Well, you know, a lot of them don't speak English, you know, and it was my experience. You could say anything you wanted to the official as long as you smiled.
Now the technical foul is called on Kevin Lockett. Now Bobby got what he wanted there. He went down and worked him a little bit. But I watched Jack Hartman in the Pan Am games, and when we were at CBS, what we allowed Jack to do was to use our interpreter, who could sit right beside him. And they had Spanish-speaking officials in most of the games the United States had, because the other teams would not allow Canadian officials or American officials to work our games. So primarily they were Spanish-speaking officials. And with the interpreter that we supplied, it really helped Jack a lot, because he could go out and make his point and be over there calming his club down. And it seemed like the officials responded positively whenever you could understand their language.
Well, you could get rid of a lot of emotion if you smiled. You could say anything if you smiled, and they'd smile back often, you know, because you were smiling. They thought you were saying something nice. Oh boy.
And Steve Alford, now this is kind of amazing. The nation's #1 free throw shooter, and so far in these games, he is now 8 for 13. I don't know if he missed 5. I know he never missed 5 in a given month when he was playing in Indiana. He missed more than 5 in the season, but not in the month. Good movement inside. Nice job by Mullen.
You know, he's a very, very smart basketball player. He found a little seam there right between two big men. Watch how he makes his pivot right between those two big men. A little seam in there, suspends, shoots the ball at the opportune time. Now, here's a great foul shooter, as you said.
Yes, he is.
And he blows it.
Yep. We're not really shooting that well as a team and should be an excellent free throw shooting ball club. Woodson. That was a patented jumper he had while he was at IU. He's had some incredible games in the NBA. Won a record setter where he hit 22 out of 24 shots. High up on Alfred. Really, his teammates all ran away from him, Pete. Somebody should come back to help.
Well, he held that ball a little long that time. He didn't, you know, recognize the fact that he may get a double team there.
Well, better than, I guess, throwing it away. He goes up to jump. Perkins comes up with it. Down to 5:29 to play, 81-71. The NBA trying, but not able to overcome that deficit so far. Perkins stepping outside. Protects that ball real well for a big man. Back to man is the NBA. Got to get ready to shoot. Beautiful pass by Leon Wood. Beautiful pass by Leon Wood.
Leon's played his best game tonight. He's created things. He hasn't been panicked by the clock. Here now, really a good threaded pass. Right inside. A good pump fake. Force a foul.
Pete, I watched Leon play last year in the Pan Am games, and they played a lot of zone down there. And Leon really had come off that injury, so he really wasn't comfortable. Of all the players that made this Olympic team, in my opinion, Leon's the guy that probably is going to benefit the most of any of them, because he's going to play under Bobby Knight, who's going to force him to play the man-to-man defense, to not bang that ball on the floor so much with the dribble, and it's probably going to make him a lot of bucks.
Well, there's no doubt. He's so much a better basketball player now than when he went to that first camp up there. No, he'd play nothing but zone, and they didn't want him to foul in college. So, you know, you can't play defense without being aggressive, and you have to risk the foul if you're going to play defense. But he's learned how to play. He's not a bad defensive player now.
Has a good attitude. Kevin McHale, there's that turnaround jumper. Good rebound by Turner. Another very solid player in the SEC, all SEC player for Vanderbilt. Screen away from the ball. Randy Whitman trying to do something with Mullen. Mullen, a lot tougher kid than he looks like. First time I ever saw him play was in an AAU contest when he first came out of high school. He's been on winning teams so much throughout his career. And that St. John's team next year is going to be an excellent one also in the Big East. Have everybody back. Excellent junior college transfer. There he is. That's good form.
The confidence that they get from this competition, you know, somebody like Chris Mullen going back to college is really a plus, because they're playing against the best in the world, and they're holding their own. You know, they're just doing a fine job.
Well, there's a matter of conditioning a little bit for Woodson. They're going to call a foul on McHale, preventing Turner from taking off down the other end.
Number 6, Kevin McHale, is third personal.
We see the foul out on the side. Now, Woodson, normally in good condition, will just drop that shot just about 90% of the time when he's wide open. And there's the foul by McHale. No question about the call. Turner played for C.M. Newton. C.M., of course, one of Bobby's assistants.
Now, this is a fine shooter, Billy. Jeff Turner, and I think he's going to be a valuable player against zone defenses. Again, you know, the zone defense will probably be the dominant defense in the Olympics.
You know, when I look at this overall performance, when I look at the overall performance of this game, Pete, I really can't think of anybody on the Olympic team that hasn't had a pretty solid ball game. Pete just got a towel with a Coke on his lap, huh?
And I'm sitting on it.
To cool you off a little bit. I know 2 officials out there would like to have some of that ice. Probably rolling right down their back.
They can have it. They can have it. I sure don't want it, especially when I'm sitting on it.
Personal foul.
With Bobby talking to Jeff Turner, wanting him on the inside, rebounding. Bobby's got to be happy with his game. He's never totally satisfied with anything. That was almost, I think, kind of a fake slap of the hands there. He knows he's got to be satisfied with this performance. Patrick Ewing picking up the foul, trying to help out. Patrick so well drilled defensively. That Georgetown team will put the clamps on you.
You know, Patrick has a first look on his face, but he's got the nicest smile, Billy. And he does smile, you know. The camera doesn't catch him often smiling, but he does smile, and it's a wonderful smile.
Well, you have to admire also the fact that yesterday, probably for the first time in his career, this high school team won 3 straight state champions. He's been in the Final Four game, the championship game, 2 out of the 3 years in college, so he hadn't been on the bench very much, and yesterday he didn't get in the second half. Now, instead of sulking, he's come out and played his best ball game.
Practice, you know, they had a good practice this morning, and they worked on a lot of, he was up there for that one.
Good, strong rebound.
He's playing with more concentration, I guess is the word. A little careless with his passes, and of course, you know, Coach Knight is pretty tough on that.
Turner setting some good screens. He and Ewing starting to get a little more movement inside, open it up for each other. There's Turner going in, getting fouled. Williams and McHale both got a piece. The call is going to be on Herb Williams. NBA players a little frustrated, Pete.
Well, I think they, you know, we said this and we repeated it too, that they came in here expecting and really wanting to win this game. And but they ran into the best performance, I believe anyway, that the Olympic team has had up to date, especially in offense.
Here you have Turner again, that good shooter, left-handed touch. 88-72. Olympic team in control now. We're down to 3:43 to go. Jeff's also had some good international experience.
He's a good, solid player. He's the kind of a player. He gives you a dimension that you want off your bench. He can do something, and he can do it very well, and that's shoot.
Called no shot. That's going to be Steve Alford going up against Quinn Buckner. Bobby upset with that. Wanting him to move those feet on defense instead of reaching in. That's Steve's third foul as seen on the screen. Bobby wants him on the line, not committing the fouls. And there's a man on the line that Bobby really liked as a ball player and as a human being, Quinn Buckner.
He really, you know, he's one of his real favorites, and he should be, because Quinn is very, very loyal to the university and its athletic program, particularly basketball.
I had an opportunity to broadcast that game where Indiana opened up their season against UCLA. Unfortunately for Gene Bartow, that was his opening game as the coach after Johnny Wooden. And Indiana was really primed for that game with probably one of the greatest college basketball teams that's ever been assembled. For UCLA, it was a long afternoon. Quinn Buckner, one of the reasons.
This is a different rule right now than the NBA. They start a new 30-second clock.
That's right. They will change that again after the Olympics. International rules are going to go back and play it the way the NBA does, and the fact that it'll be where that clock was at the point, not go back to 30. Mullen going. Good play by McHale. Mullen gets it back. And Mullen just so calm. You know, he plays a lot like Larry Bird in the fact that he has some of those same characteristics.
You know, Billy, you hear so much about speed and quickness and all that, and you look at a Larry Bird, whose foot speed is not one of his great assets, and he has many great assets, but that's not one of them. You look at Magic Johnson, he doesn't have great foot speed. And you look at kids like this, and they're very, very effective, very good players. Look at that now. He's in control, makes a good pass off.
Got good hands.
And he gets the rebound.
There was Patrick Ewing getting what, even though that the foul had been committed, Patrick Ewing doing what Bobby Knight wants, coming right in there for that rebound. Koncak in the ball game now. Bobby's had a chance to use everybody, and everybody has played a fine ball game. Good help by Turner defensively. There's Woodson hitting that jumper of his.
Woodson scores.
Down to about 2:30. NBA now, I think, resigned to the fact that this Olympic team will not touch defeat in game number 5. Goodson taking it to the hole. Beautiful shot. Now there's a case where somebody could have come up and worked on drawing that charge. Woodson went about 15 feet to the hoop. Leon Wood again. Confidence builder if he can hit that jumper. No block out. Good help. Mullen a little off balance on that shot. Tough shot for Kevin McHale.
Now they got to learn to take time off the clock.
Yep, Bobby Knight wants a timeout, and he wants to get back to getting that movement with that ball, taking good shots and protecting the ball well. And there he is talking. Bobby Knight never really satisfied, Pete, and I don't think you can be the coach. You try to get your players to play to their best of their ability, and they certainly have done well tonight. but he's never satisfied. With 1:59 to go, U.S. Olympic team leading 91-78. I want to mention that tonight's game is brought to you in part by the Hook's Dependable Drugstores. Pete, what's your assessment?
Well, I'm very pleased to see the offensive improvement. I think the recognition of the changing defenses was better. I think their spacing was better. Patrick Ewing, I think, had a lot to do with the flow of the game and the improvement of the offense. And I think defensively, he did a lot of intimidation in there. It's a very positive performance tonight, Billy.
One of the things that I just observed in the game, and I've been following all the games on TV that have been shown down our way, is the fact that tonight Bobby seemed to get an excellent flow from his bench.
Yeah.
Everybody he put in seemed to come in and provide him with the quality of play that he needed. In the first half, he needed the outside shooting. Mullen came in and did the job. Leon Wood has come in and run the game very well. Steve Alford has done a nice job. And Ewing came in and did a job off the board. So it seems like everybody's starting to define their role a little bit.
You know, as a coach, Billy, you know, one of the hard things to do in substitution is 5 minutes at a time and get any kind of a flow, and yet they've done that.
Yep.
They've put in 5 at a time, and they have kept up their fluidity of offense. I thought very well.
Here's Chuck Person in the game with Johnny Dawkins. Person from Auburn, an alternate. Johnny Dawkins from Duke. Dawkins has got a lot of quickness. Person, one of the outstanding players in the SEC last year. Got to be aware of the shot clock. Good drive to the hoop. Very nice.
The basket by number 15, Chuck Person.
That's good for the ball club, too, to have the alternates come in there and put up 2. And everybody feels like they're part of the victory. Kevin McHale gets fouled on the outside by Konkak. No, that's Turner. As I mentioned, Jeff Turner played international, played in the World Games a couple of years ago. As I said, he played for CM Newton. He's had that valuable international experience. Kevin McHale was a member of Bobby Knight's
I was going to say, he was on that Pan Am team that played down in Puerto Rico.
Well, you've got Kevin out there. Woodson was on that ball club also. So 2 of Bobby's players.
Isaiah Thomas
played on that team.
Isaiah was on that.
So with a score 93-80, 1:16 to go. NBA stays back in that zone, and Bobby Knight wants to just occupy that ball for the full 30 as best possible and then get off the best shot he can. Spreading it out a little bit.
Look like they're waiting to trap.
Turner going up to that high post. Person hits another jumper. Nice shot. Spread out the zone nicely. Good patience. Tough shot for Woodson. Johnny Dawkins going up over Williams on the backside. Duke is another ball club next year that's going to be in the thick of things in the NCAA. They've got all their players back, at a good recruiting year.
They did a good job on this zone offense last night at the end of the game. They got good spacing, good spread, and that foul line area is opened up, and they got the ball in there to the man that was free in there.
Nice catch by Konkak. Excellent pass by Turner. Great catch. Down to 10 seconds to go, and the Olympic team still goes without a defeat. Randy Whitman putting it up. Fans from Indiana would like that, and that's the ball game. Pete, this is kind of shocking to me.
Well, the way they did it, it was to me, too, because I didn't expect them to play this well after that game yesterday. Not that they played that badly yesterday, but this was a better team than they played yesterday.
Right, they played a better team. They played yesterday. They had to travel, come back to another city. There's Larry Fleischer congratulating Bobby Knight, who has to be very pleased with this one.
Well, you know, these NBA players and Larry Fleischer, they deserve all the credit in the world because they give up time. It's been said before, but if we win a gold medal, they have to take a real reflected glory and pride in the fact that they really helped produce it.
Okay, we want to go ahead, and Bobby's got a couple of words that he'd like to say, and let's hear from the coach.
First of all, I would like to present the coach of the women's basketball team that's done a great job developing to this point, and is going to do a heck of a job in Los Angeles, from the University of Tennessee, Pat Summer. Thank you. Tonight was an exciting event for women's basketball and men's basketball. We're excited to have been a part of this. I'd like to thank the people in the city of Indianapolis. A special thanks to Coach Bobby Knight. Without all of you people, we could have not made history. As far as our Olympic team, we tonight realized, I think for the first time, that we are Olympians and that we are Americans. I hope that we can represent each and every one of you in a great fashion in Los Angeles. Thank you. Thank you, Pat, and good luck to you and the girls from all of us here in Indiana. I would just like to say that it's our objective with this basketball team that if you happen to be in Los Angeles while we're playing, or if you're sitting at home watching on television, you can turn to whomever you're sitting beside and say, boy, that's the way we want America represented, the way these guys are going at basketball and the way they're playing, the way they're representing all of us, and we hope that's what we can give you in Los Angeles along with the gold medal. And now I turn the microphone over to the finest political figure the state of Indiana's ever had, Dr. Otis Bowen.
Bobby running for office, and we're going to be right back after this message to wrap things. Okay, Pete, a good night for both the men's team and the women's team in regard to their performances getting ready for Olympic play. The women winning tonight 97-54 against a great contingency of former women collegiate stars who had played some in the professional ranks. And then the men's team winning 97-82 against a great collection of NBA players. What I want to do now, Pete, quick capsule on individual players. Michael Jordan, what do you think tonight?
Well, I thought Michael had a very good game. He made some mistakes early going up in the air in defense, but he didn't get caught that way after the first 4 or 5 minutes. He did a fine offensive job, created many things.
Chris Mullin.
Well, he's just like an old pro out there, and he puts that ball down.
Sam Perkins.
Sam was outstanding. He did both ends of the court, his rebounding, his shooting, and his conversion, as you pointed out, Billy, several times, is just amazing.
Robertson,
very good. Defense, very good.
Patrick Ewing.
Patrick, best performance by far, and I think the coaches will really be happy about that.
Wood and Alford. Wood and Alford, the way they played tonight as a two-seed.
Yeah, they're very good. They complement each other. Alford likes to shoot and can shoot, and Wood likes to pass the ball and can pass. So they're a very good combination.
Well, in my particular opinion, and I've watched them play 3 times now and go back to the trials, this club is really coming along, and I know Bobby's going to be excited about the improvement they've made. When they get that offensive inside game going to go along with everything else they have inside, they're going to be very, very difficult to beat.
I agree with you.
Okay, we're going to be back right after this message to wrap things up tonight. It's been quite a night of basketball. As everybody knows, the Bobby Knight's club came out victorious tonight. I thought there were a couple of times late in the ball game, particularly where the NBA players did not want to lose this game. They made a nice run on them, but in each and every occasion, Bobby's team met the challenge.
They did. As we said earlier, they didn't allow any easy baskets in that period. They made them work for them, and as a result, they didn't have any of those 12, 14, 16, 2 blitzes that many times allow a team to get back in the game. They kept it under control. You know, one thing, I thought it was very important for the Olympic team to be able, they're not peaking, and they're a long way from peaking, but to be able to peak as far as their performance was concerned tonight before this big crowd, because that indicates when they come up for that gold medal, they'll be coming up, they'll be rising.
Now, Pete, I have to ask a question. You went through the 1960 and you've seen the Olympics and going to the gold. One of the things that would kind of scare me about this a little bit is after beating this club tonight, and we're still talking about a bunch of 19, 20-year-old guys, I would have to go back to my room if I were one of those players and say, hey, there's no way we're going to lose. And is there a problem possibly now getting to become overconfident as to your abilities?
Well, I know Coach tonight. I doubt that he will ever be so satisfied that he'll allow them. You know, a team always reflects the attitude of a coach, and his attitude is one of a very competitive nature, and so I don't think that he'll allow this lapse, but it is something. It's a good point, Billy. You got to worry about that.
Well, it's been quite a night. Set an all-time record for attendance in the United States for a basketball game. Had an opportunity to be the